Uganda ancestral yungurize mureberiyo entaro okutabuka abantu kufunga masi yabo kushuhuka konkati twaha arobunarga PDM nkarabombyaro ushanga abantu bavumbire shaisha tuzekira abayumaro mabaraza najya kwenda kusinda nasinda ushanga abantu bagenda yikiro atobona ubusinge ubu ayina hibwarigire bukarga umukuyonja ibyo butegeki abokaro ibyo butegeki byo kubaganisa umadini umunganda icyo cya leta ukucwanyagura abantu nicyo washangira nambwe umukaruru kangaga n'ibiri tene kibina icyabase kutunga ibicweka 5 harigana bona bakabata kubisya kabaka yekeketa kubisya UPC keta kubisya DP keta kubisya nicyo cyaletere kabaka yeka okukora mukago na UPC ubamazara kanya kake betati enene mukutoyizire ntugobagambira okwegaita okugaya ebyo kubaganisa abantu mu madini no mu nganda no kugaya abakazi mwatuhura mwahagira NRM nicyo shangira NRM nesinga inshoro yo kubanza sitagira ugaruka mukutera akarura ka kabiri aboko buri mwanya gwona tusya obuhayize bukurenga 5 harigana mbere cyo cya leta abantu kwegaita umbyo butegeki bwanyuma icyo nacyo cyabangira okukora ibitongore bya government amahega yebaganisho byenganda esinetabuka konka aboko baitu tureba dini y'omuntu tureba ruganda rwe tureba burungi bwe nko musirikare nicyo kushangira amahega yitu gaina mani ngawasa kuma Uganda police ya Uganda yona ina mani intelligence prisons judiciary civil service byona binamani abokuba nebihanga lyona harimu corruption. That's another problem konka tarimo ebyenganda n'amadini. So erenita fari nambemwe enaremo letera hanju ya Uganda itafari ya kabiri n'entunguka ejo ibo kweta mu rujungu development erimwe bicheka bibiri areba kweta economic infrastructure emisingi y'ebyentasya kandi abo kweta social infrastructure emisingi y'ebyentura y'abantu ati kutukuza ari economic infrastructure nareba Sheema ndeba hari ibikozwe n'ebindi ebirkwija kukorwa. Ecyo kubanza uruguto rwaitu urukurugambarra kuzishaka uruguto rukutwizire twarukora haturukuzire ntwenda kurugaruka mukurukora nambwe nabo kurukora babatungire mbeja kutandika ubu naragaho PDM rukaru rukubi munonga rukaru kuzire kandi ruine bina mbona tunashanga batereteremwe biraka konka beja kurukora kimwe ruhindike rusya tutwiraho okukora abuko hainemu akutwire kuterezamu mugambira abakiki banyu ba parliament bahagire enkoro yitu y'icyekera itobahekera twata kamwe nugoki.
10 years ago, it all began with one trade. Discipline became my edge. And today, I trade with confidence and consistency. 10 years of helping traders grow. FTMO.
Nambuko no yongo bahurro kwabura kwetu aman tukagatere aha defense yango kugira ubusinge icyo nango bakikora tugataha nguto tubanzo twabanza tutakagira habindi enguto za korasi nezitaka zona shime kuba zirige eshaha yona tutaha amashanyarazi tutaho iby'amagara tutaho okushoma n'amakorero tubanwe twabanza rero ibindi tubyongeraho bwanyu betatu noshanga nambone nk'abashomesa baitu nashemera ukura ngo mumpagira mwe barabashomesa kumpagira konka abana baitabo babere bedimire nyuma bati mutongera umushara hatata ishahe esente kastazine kantu gezo kuronde sente z'uruguto rwaguzwera Nyakambu Nsika Nyakashaka Nyakabirizi tukagira itaji tukarutwara Kigarama Amasheruka Kabohe Bugongi Kitagata tumba murekere tukakora inguteza umushara hatata ati tukongera abashomesa ba science esente abo ka science abo ntubetenga munonga hati abo ke byone ebitukora n'ibya science enguto zibakugamba aba science engineers amashanyarazi bigenda engineers amaizi engineers ukinga no kurisa nikwenda abakugubo buhingi na veterinary ati mweno shanga byona ibihango byo kukenura nibyenda ba science hati abo kubashashora kubi abana baitu bagenda baza gukora Kenya gukora Rwanda ito bita habikena mbone ito abahekera abo kwito abahekera tukamanyire naku turamanyire ebingi tumanya gukora kodesha ebike ngo kubajya bene bantu abashomesa ba science bono bake tubengi kandi abakushomesa tubetenga munonga mbere kati bino twabanza urutaru rwimukiraho so mwene mpakezo nzozo kukereza omirumo nabo ki ezingu tate nja kukorwa zitwireho ko ngiki zikereze necyo empaka ikirabanze neki ugunagambe iki abanyankere bagifumu ngwende minyingi itukurizo bushera konka kirungi rihanga akunda NRM ino wakugikunda ninkimanyanta hariho bingi bikumanyiraho konka kimwe hari byo rihanga kashereka abajungu amashitaga Uganda abajungu bakaba bari aha imyaka 68 bamara imyaka 4 barona amashitaga Uganda okumulek Albert gakagaroho nigabira gahika haruguru y'ubutaka bagaronda konka gabura era ni mukwija yagavumbura rero nambo ngabugari yako icyo mukurebaho haritimbi ni rumwe ahamazuba aga peteroli erikuza kutandika kushohora umwaka w'ugwaza kutandika peteroli gikwera shore nkija kutorebera kukore bibiri kuturaho inguto kushangegi nyakashaka ntugigamba rero tuturaho kandi tutamuna indiscipline omu kugabura konka hati twatuyine sente nyingi mukana zati kwenda ngo mushishe musikoze sekta kwetengesa so ekintu kyenguto amashanyarazi garumu nabalindeba umufayiro gashyiraho amagombora amaizi amasumu mwena amasumu hati tene sumu uriyo mbitakuri na ahingire ayine sumu urukuza kwibanye kiro ayine sumu umcecezi urukuza kucecera ayine sumu mbere sumu zikanyire hati amaizi nago nagarebo mu ibyaro binyi n'amaizi aga naikondo naga grafte flow scheme konga twenda kutamani akintu cyo kushikera okushikera nyenda kubore ko murimo gukorwa Nyaruzinga umufamu ya government okushikera amakuru gacyo. Show us that farm.
This is where our model plantation is. Plantation which you've had, we've already gone beyond 50 tons of yield per hectare per year. Matoke is very important part is water, but especially in the dry season. So here we are using irrigation, drip irrigation, as you can really see, using water, especially in the dry season. Drip irrigation, the advantage with it is that it sends water where it is required. PBD does not depend on national water. We make our own water, which we pump every day. 90% of the water is used for irrigation, and the other 10% is processed for use in pilot plant and estate residential areas. This farm, as per NEMA allows us to use a third of the water flow. But in the dry season, we even just use 12% of water flow. So there is still.
Konka umfamu ejo ya government eitwa hairu umna science wetu Dr. Muranga Nyaruzinga abukushikera nokoze sorwezo ntweza ntutema ebitoke tani 5 buri hectare buri mwaka imabanyankore numutema tani 5 buri hectare buri mwaka mbere nyo mfamu yangejo na Dr. Muranga ntobakiza okweza ebitoke emirundi 10 imuntu hamtani 5 itutuye 50 n'eshatu umwanya ngugumwe nawe cyo umugamente yemu kagira itukuza kuzamu inchure yaza kwija ntuja kutamana kintu cyo kushikera kandi janga akatukunda yatereza ameizo mu mpanga ya tenshozi okutsindika amezi gakazarushozi rero gakashuma mu ruhanga rugetwara nabo cyo mukimanye mureke kushishe bisharira mureke tubikoze sabo kate kimu gukora nimushishe bisharira musere migongo huresho bibiri washisha amezi kandi wasera emigongo ekitwiho migongo no munsi iyo butaka habutaka nikike munonga okukire kitwakwihiremu kuno yango tushikera inja kubuza no mwani wagushikera nugwera guta uguringaniza naguriya ubutari bwo kushikera nabo cyebe byona biriyo omu rubaju rwentunguka yemisingi yebyentashya yensi economic infrastructure urundo rubaju arwe emisingi yebyentura y'abantu amashomero nagareba aha nimengi kangareba aha hariho amashomero 133 ga gavumenti aga primary kandi mwine 96 ga private. Hariho aga secondary amashomero 17 kandi mwine 53 aga private. So amashomero ago mwine mengi abo kandi tumanya history y'amashomero aha omuri Uganda tinyine wirebuka bizamu nkabe nimba herezo rubozi hata amarwaro nagwembera timbi amarwaro mwine irwaro rumwe injangwe niriya Kitagata hospital, mwine health center for ibiri na health center 3 12 egomboremwe yonka niyetere mwirwaro ati umuntu akatekeryo umfairo ntubaza kombeka health center 3 masheruka sub county hospital nkubar kugira kandi ecyo kugira irwaro ririmo atungura rikaba district hospital rero Kitagata ekaba bifaro nabiri njya kubitwara nimbiyanjoro umba ministry. So umbientu guka embaju zombi sterori tambi omuri Sheema orubajorwa emisingi y'ebyentashya emisingi y'ebyembe entura y'abantu konkaho NRM enguto ziriya ntuzimanya nazibagambira eyabuzibwera Nyakambu Nsika Nyakashaka Nyakabirizi kwetororeti hamwe no kugira eti ekeja Kabohe ekaza Bugongi ekaza Kitagata ntuja kubikora umuncuregi kisange tekubasa kuturema abo twaza kujyana n'esente z'amashita ibintu byaza koroba hati iliyo ni safari ya kabiri NRM yatera hanju ya Uganda obusinge itafari na mbemwe ya kabiri entunguka konko myaka ya nkaga tukatugire mpaka nabembe zabamwe hamwe n'abakugu mu universities bakaba kose ikigambo development konka babura kushoborage kokira development mu urinyankore ni entunguka ati ejenguto bakayitera korasi nkaga neshoto kurugambara kuzakasese bayitera korasi atugumenti tugigarukamu ubuneja kushomesa habweranya nkaga netane kayateri korasi hati aboro kubatere korasi aboro bahomu turagiye kwitegereje ngabo aboro barumu korasi riyaha aboro bariya ati korasi bweta bingaboro yatuyambaye nko kugira situnga umyaka ya nkaga mwino kutanisa entunguka
Speaker, I was there this dawn, but let's make progress. This dawn. They were working overnight. So so Speaker, we'll go back to the other people addendum, motion number 1.
Very well. So we take the motion number 1. I must confess, my position will have been the normal procedure, but my chief advisor is saying we should consider this as a financial bill, so we can move on. So, Chairman, you may second the motion and present the committee's report.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I do second the motion. And in seconding the motion, I would respectfully want to present the report, your report, Mr. Speaker. As I did initially talk about, the committee had the referral following the budget delivery. And so we did meet, discuss, and deliberated on a number of issues. The committee noted a couple of issues, and I will respectfully request the hazard section to take notice or to cover the entirety of the report whilst I concentrate on some key areas. Right Honorable Speaker, the committee noted the issue of inadequacy of staffing levels in the ministry. So we realized that the Departments of Feeder Roads, Urban Roads, Highways, the Road Fund, and the Koforidua section do have serious issues relating to manning levels, and therefore the need to fill these manning levels was seen to be the appropriate thing to do. So in this budget, the ministry has decided to engage reasonable numbers of people to do the infilling, and that about 137 staffing levels will be filled this year, and we think that it's something that we need to support. Right Honorable Speaker, we also noted that we noted the escalating levels of outstanding claims from 2024 to 2025, rising from 11 billion above to over 19 billion, close to 7.8 billion Ghana cedis. And we think that it is something that was worrying. There were other issues also related to the road trust fund area that also have significant numbers of debt owed by the ministry, from over 5 billion to Mr. Speaker, to 9 billion. This is worrying. But Minister did assure the committee that some reasonable levels of funds have accrued in the fund, and therefore we will have that relief. But that will not be able to pay everything. But reasonably, some level of claims could be made to alleviate the situation. Right Honorable Speaker, one significant area that came up is the performance indicators. One can only know how the ministry is performing only when the appropriate mechanisms are put in place to assess. And in the road ministry, the technical details relate to road condition mix. Mr. Speaker, right Honorable Speaker, the road condition mix will give you the performance indicators, what level of performance, and so on. So, right Honorable Speaker, I will conclude, and as I've requested that the Hazard Department takes charge of the entirety of the report and recommend to this House that the allocated funds for the ministry be approved accordingly. I so move. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, the motion has been moved and it has been seconded by the chairman. Let me now invite the ranking. Yes, Honorable Member for Akim Swadru.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to make a few comments and observations on the report. Mr. Speaker, your committee met the ministry and the various agencies under the ministry to consider their budget estimates for the financial year 2026. Mr. Speaker, some few observations were made during the meeting, and I just want to draw the attention of the House and the Minister as well. Mr. Speaker, the committee observed that in 2026, under the Big Push project, an allocation of 30 billion, which is equivalent to about $2.6 billion, have been allocated to the ministry to execute over 50 critical projects. We drew the minister's attention to the fact that this is a very big investment that we are putting into the road sector. And therefore, the minister needs to ensure that those contractors that have been selected or they are going to be selected to be doing the project, make sure they do quality job, not any shoddy job. Because it's a very big investment, a single investment that we are putting into the road sector. And therefore, it is important that the minister ensure that quality work is delivered. And the minister also assured the House that he will also ensure that such is also done. Mr. Speaker, we also observe that some key projects have been suspended, and we sought to seek explanation from the minister. And these projects were those ones that are externally funded projects. And because of the debt restructuring, some of these projects have to be suspended because they could not do any drawdowns or disbursement from the loans. So we also advise the minister that if there is any other alternative means that he can look for funds to continue this project, you should look for it to do the project instead of allowing the work that has been done already to deteriorate. And the minister also assured us that he also take a cue and ensure that such is also done. Mr. Speaker, we also observe that the outstanding claims has also gone up, has increased. If you look at the GOG claims in terms of IPCs that have been submitted and waiting for payment on GOG and road fund, Mr. Speaker, we are talking about 60% increase. That is about 10.6, about 10 billion addition as to where it was handed over to this administration. And Mr. Speaker, I am not blaming the government for such increase. Once we are embarking on such project, definitely there is going to be IPCs that will be submitted and it has to be paid. The problem now we have on our hands is that, Mr. Speaker, there is no clear strategy as to how the government intends to clear this mounting debt that keeps on accumulating. And so we sought to draw the minister's attention to, as a matter of urgency, find a way to devise a strategy as to how they can work and clear off this mounting debt so that the ministry will not be saddled with huge debt which will affect the progress of ongoing projects, which the minister too has taken the advice that the committee also gave it to the ministry. Mr. Speaker, we also observe that if you look at the total allocations, the entire total allocation from the various sources of funds that the ministry is going to have for 2026, we are talking in excess of 38.2 billion. This is about $3.3 billion. It's a very huge money that is going to the road sector. And we want to ensure assure and also encourage the minister that this money, you should put it in good use and fix the bad roads, the various bad roads, especially the critical ones, so that they can fix it, because this is a very huge budget that we are giving to them. And they have to ensure that they put it into good use. The last one The last observation, Mr. Speaker, was about the road fund. We realized that a zero releases were done for the road fund. Nothing has been released to the road fund. And
what do you mean by that? Is it in respect of 2025 or?
For 2025.
Okay.
No single release was done to the road fund. And I was hoping that the Minister of Finance was in the chamber. I have to draw his attention to that. It is against the law. It is against the law. He cannot collect the levies and keep it without giving to the ministry to pay contractors. There are several contractors that have done several jobs that the ministry needs the money. So he cannot collect the road fund levies and keep it and not release anything. As of September, he has not released even a peso, a penny to the road ministry. And I think it is important that I draw the finance minister's attention that he's breaching the law. And he has to take a cue and ensure that he releases the money to the ministry as early as possible so that the minister can pay those contractors that have worked under the road fund project that they need their money so they can go back and continue with the project. Mr. Speaker, with this few observations, I think I have no difficulty in supporting the approval of a budget of 5.3 billion for the ministry for the activities and program for the year 2026. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much. Yes, let me go to Bolgatanga Central.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to urge my colleagues to support the approval of the estimates for the Ministry of Roads and Highways. Mr. Speaker, road infrastructure is very critical to the development of our country, and it costs a lot of money to build roads. Whilst I agree with my colleague on his call for the Minister of Finance to have made resources available to the road fund, I just want to draw our attention to the fact that the Minister for Finance, when he presented the 2025 budget, had indicated clearly that the road fund was going to go under some reforms. And those reforms included introducing a new road maintenance trust fund, which was going to replace the old road fund. And therefore, it became clear that the road fund in its current form and stature was going to change. And it was therefore the reason you did not see a lot of allocation to the road fund. But Mr. Speaker, this House has passed the new Road Maintenance Trust Fund, which will continue.
Honorable Isaac, hold on. Yes, Ranking, did you want?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, my colleague, Honorable Adongo, made some claim which I need to draw his attention. You should understand that the budget was passed way before the Road Trust Fund was passed in this House. So he cannot claim that because of the act that was passed, that is why it has delayed the releases of that. It can never be true. So I just want to draw his attention to
very well. Yes, Honorable Adongo.
Mr. Speaker, I can see that my colleague is very particular about the road fund. Fortunately, from 2026, you will not have to debate this issue again because you have passed a new law mandating the government to set up a road maintenance trust fund. And so we hope that the resources that have been assigned to that fund would be made available in 2026 so that a lot of work can happen. But Mr. Speaker, it is also instructive to know that beyond the amount being approved for the Ministry of Roads and Highways estimate is the component of the big push which is being catered for as a special project under the government's other obligations. And therefore, when we have the opportunity to consider other government obligations under the Ministry of Finance, we would also see a line allocating money first to the Road Maintenance Trust Fund and also an allocation to the Big Push. And together, I believe that the Ministry for Roads and Highways would have enough resources to carry out the projects that have been listed in the minister's budget. And so on this basis, I wish to encourage all of us to support the ministry's estimate so that resources can be made available in 2026 to improve our road network. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Thank you very much. Yes, let me listen to Okankwe Central.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to the motion on the floor ably moved by the chairman of the committee. Mr. Speaker, it's instructive to note from the report of the committee under paragraph 9, an extensive table on the Accra-Kumasi dualization program, which has become very topical in this country, Mr. Speaker, especially when the new administration has decided to construct an expressway. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the table under paragraph 9, it gives you an indication of the extent of work done on the highway, which every Ghanaian knows to be one of the most important roads in this country. The Osino South Carriageway, which is about 11.55 kilometers, 77% done as of September 2025. The Osino North is 70%, and Yinem 62%, and Yinem North is about 100% complete. NUAC South 65%, North NUAC 64%, Kintampo, Konongo 66%, and Konongo South 62%. I'm happy that the ministry is taking a very serious look at this to ensure its completion. Mr. Speaker, if you look at paragraph 12, it also has the Accra Kaswa Winneba dualization program properly tabled. But I'm surprised I didn't see the Winneba Mankasim stretch that the minister cut the salt for its construction. I was on that road last week. Something is being done. I don't know if because he hasn't made budgetary provisions, he could not capture it in the report. I see it as a serious omission. Mr. Speaker, at page 16 of the report, it talks about the overall budget estimate for 2026, which is about 5.378 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, it will interest you to know that out of the said amount, about 910 million.
I learned that ChatGPT works best with detailed prompts, but I hate typing them. So instead, I
expected from development partners. Mr. Speaker, about 5.37. We are still under an IMF program. 8 billion Ghana cedis. And if, Mr. Speaker,